name's Joe, and this is my 1992 Toyota Soarer. Only had it about 2 or 3 months now. Picked it up from a buddy of mine in Houston, Texas. He imports cars for a living, and he's had this one for a little while.
No, this isn't a Lexus SC300. It's a Toyota Soarer. The Toyota Soarer was externally the same to the SC300, but actually quite a bit different under the hood and on the interior. This 1992 Z30 Soarer belongs to Joe, who is a member of the Automotive Addiction Car Club in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. His Soarer features the 2.5-liter dual overhead cam 1JZ GTE engine, which was not offered in the Lexus SC sold in the United States. This variant of the 1JZ came with twin turbos, much like its more famous brother, and produced 276 horsepower and 268 pound-feet of torque. Today, that doesn't sound like a particularly noteworthy number, but it was pretty impressive for the early 90s. It is worth noting that, despite much of the powertrain of the Soarer being unique, it was designed by Toyota's American studio known as Culti alongside the SC300 and 400.
Pretty much 9 out of 10 times people think it's a Lexus, which is fine. It's fair to think that. Most people don't know what these cars are. And it's basically a Lexus. But most people have never seen one, so they just generally assume Lexus.
The Lexus SC did not have the option of the 2.5-liter 1JZ. It was only offered with the 3-liter 2JZ or 4-liter 1UZ V8, hence the names SC300 and SC400. Most Soarers came with a 4-speed automatic transmission, and this one is no exception to that rule. Would a manual be more fun? Arguably yes, but this car was designed as a Grand Tourer, so that wasn't the intended market. Keeping with the GT car theme, the Soarer was heavy for its day. Depending on trim level, the Soarer weighed somewhere between 3,400 and 3,800 pounds. This one likely tips the scales roughly in the middle of that range, since it has a base cloth interior, but an automatic transmission. The Soarer was produced from 1981 to 2005, when Lexus was brought to Japan and cars such as the Soarer became Lexus models as they already were in the rest of the world. This is in many ways similar to Nissan's treatment of Skylines and the Infiniti brand. It makes sense to reduce what is essentially badge engineering, but it is unfortunate that so few current Toyota, or Lexus for that matter, cars are engaging or fun to drive. Today, if you want a GT car from Toyota, you can buy a Lexus LC500 starting at a hair over $100,000. When the SC300 and 400 were new, they cost half that or less. Sure, that doesn't take inflation into account, and the LC500 is a much different car, but it seems like Toyota has priced themselves out of the market for many prospective buyers. Maybe that is where the new Supra is supposed to slot in, if it ever comes out.
Well, the one car wants a Mark IV Supra, and this is the closest thing I can get to it without paying Supra tax. Chassis and everything's pretty much the same. Stuff like suspension, brakes, exhaust all fit up the same. So for now, this is my 4-man Supra, I guess.
I didn't drive this car, but riding in the passenger seat wasn't as weird as I expected. Still, going around sharp corners in this right-hand drive import felt a little strange, especially when it was a hard right-hander. I assume one would gain some cred from import fans since this car is actually JDM. It is stock other than an intake, an aftermarket exhaust, which is louder than I expected from a turbo car, and a set of aftermarket wheels. The interior is pretty standard for this class of car from its era, and the instrument cluster looks like something out of Back to the Future with its bizarre fisheye effect and digital displays. One thing that stood out to me as being strange was the seemingly random placement of English and Japanese on the interior. Some buttons were labeled in English, others in Japanese. There was no discernible pattern to this either, as one language was often right beside the other. Anyway, that's all I have. Thanks for watching.
I actually started out, my first car was a 71 Ford Torino. I tried to daily, it didn't really work out too well, so I ended up getting something a little more reliable, a Subaru WRX plug-eye. Did some mods to it, busted the trans, got kind of tired of it, knew I was going to do it again. So I got a Mark III Supra, and the engine I just couldn't. It's hard to keep that in good shape. It wasn't the most reliable car, and then I finally got this. It was actually my brother that got me into cars. He's the one that talked me into getting the Torino as my first car, and ever since then it's just been it for me. Cars are a good hobby, I guess you could say, but almost a lifestyle too. It's something relaxing about, just going for a drive.